Hello, everybody, again. This is the first discussion that I'll be having after introducing myself in my previous video. So, this is the second video. Um, I just want to talk about the division and what is going on in America at the moment. Um, Under Donald Trump, it seems like there has been an increase in division over its local population, the Americans, and obviously its inhabitants and the citizens that are living there. Um, Sorry, let me just put my laptop on charge so this video doesn't cut out midway through. Yeah, so obviously Donald Trump has very opinionated ideas on various current events that are happening in America and the decisions he's making about certain things that not the majority of the population believes in. I think the highlight and the thing to look at that is the hottest at the moment is the Super Bowl, which seems to be under heavy discussion, especially after Bad Bunny's performance, who is obviously a Spanish singer, uh, who was the headline halftime show artist that put on an energetic, uh, hyped or hyper uh, halftime show, that's for sure. And obviously, it was in Spanish, which is the big discussion that is dividing a lot of Americans and people at the moment. Um, I don't watch a lot of NFL, if any, and at all. I don't watch it at all. I'm an Australian. I don't tune into NFL. I wouldn't even be able to tell you the rules or the way the game's meant to be played or whatever. I barely would be able to list the teams or anything like that. But I follow AFL, and we have a similar structure with our sporting game when it comes to grand finals, and it's a half of a game played. There is a halftime show, which can be hosted by any number of acts, whether it's Australian or international. And then the second half of the game is obviously played. And yeah, so with the NFL halftime show, people have been saying, what was the reason for even having Bad Bunny perform? Um, because he's obviously Spanish and he's performing in an American, um, I was going to say American country. He's performing in America on their most prestigious, world, their most highly recognized sporting event in their country, in the United States. And basically, none of the lyrics were in English except for when his feature stars came on to sing, which was Lady Gaga and Ricky Martin. And out of those two, Lady Gaga was the only one that spoke the English in her songs. So the question is, uh, does that cause a reason enough to say, I'm not going to watch this because it's not in English? This doesn't represent who I am. This isn't this isn't representative of the game, that is native to my country. As an Australian, when I look at that, I do have a bit of a side with the people who say, well, it should be hosted by a person who is um, an American, a natural citizen of America. Something that is homegrown. just like with the Australian grand final, it feels like when you have international artists, even then you're kind of taking away from the spirit of the game in some respect, because the game is created and birthed from the soil of your own country. And it sometimes can feel like that is taken away when somebody from another country is performing in your at your biggest game. But that's not to say that we can't have someone internationally perform. You know, it breaks it up. It breaks the cycle. It opens our minds. It shows us that we are united not just in our own country but worldwide. Not everyone who watches football is only in America. People watch it worldwide as well. Um, and then obviously uh, the what do they call themselves? The organization of Turning Point, who adamantly voiced themselves by saying we're going to have our own halftime show. Turn off the actual halftime show as soon as it comes on. Flick over to ours. You have homegrown American, basically country rock, kid rock. There was another singer that he was singing with. Oh God, I can't remember who it was. And basically, you get just pure American music for your game. And thinking about it myself, like I say, I'm not an American. I'm speaking as an Australian from across the world, in Australia. Um, I don't know if they got it right either. Even Donald Trump, like, what's going on? You've created so much division in your own country with this. Oh well, that's not American. Therefore, all you Americans shouldn't be watching it, even though three-quarters of the population is. Like, you're standing out like a sore thumb. It's literally, it's literally that obvious. Especially your own president. I mean, he scorned and said the halftime show is terrible. Bad Bunny is a bad artist. All this sort of stuff, like, just completely cutting down um, the most prestigious event or sport event in your own country that there ever is during the year. And Turning Point is very one sided, and they do not seem to want to integrate with anyone else that isn't of their own views. Which seems like what is happening in the political hemisphere in the United States at the moment. I've never seen. Well, I don't know whether it's because I'm older now. I'm 34 years old. I see the news more. I can absorb more information and understand it more and come up with my own opinions about it more. But never have I seen so much division in America in my whole life. And it's actually frustrating and infuriating, to be honest. I like America. I've been there. I've been to America. When I was a kid, I went to one of the best places you could ever go as a kid, Disney World in Florida, Orlando. And I always have high regard. I always held America in high regard. I always, obviously people point fun tongue in cheek at them for certain things, like, just some of the cultural things that come out of America can be pretty funny. But at the end of the day, I like America, and the things that come out of America have shaped a lot of my life. A lot of the material that we get in Australia is from America. We're just about America's younger little brother almost, with the way that we're allies and um, we share a lot of westernized values together. But man, since Trump has been in, bro, um, the amount of division in America and what it's causing around the world in terms of division has just been very rampant and more prevalent at the moment, I must say. And it's sad, man. Like your own country is turning against each other. Like you got Turning Point, which is turning people against each other. It just seems insane. Like it's about unition. It's about uniting. Uh, if you want to be a patriotic country, you've got to come together. You can't be looking at your own citizens and going, "Oh, that guy supports the left or the right. I'm not going to like him ever. There's no way I'm going to associate with him." That's not you're segregating yourselves, and it's just pretty disgusting, really. I think we're going through a bad patch with watching America at the moment. I'd love to hear some American opinions on this. Like they probably don't notice or would see it so much because it's happening in their own country. This is an external perspective coming from Australia, where we're very humble here. We're not very loud. We have a way less people than you guys do. So you know the things that we uh, demonstrate to the world are probably not so as loud as sometimes, but we definitely see it. I see it. I think, and you can see it all over Facebook, all over social media. Donald Trump not liking something because it goes against his own little opinion, and therefore completely shutting whatever that thing is down and scrutinizing it and creating that division, which uh, which is wrong. I really think that's wrong. I don't think Trump's really on board with the unification of his own country. I know I said the word unition earlier, and that was wrong. It was unification. My bad. But yeah, so Donald Trump needs to pull his head in. Like, my God, man. I thought you were going to come in and be quite a good president, but you're turning quite sour, and you're not really hitting the right bells with me or probably most of the people around the world. Like majority of the population is getting less and less fond of you. So I don't know. I know we got another 3 years of Trump. I'll be interested to see whether it's 3 years of notorious controversy or 3 years of radio. We've poked the hot poker into the cow's back. Now it's time to act peacefully. So, um, but yeah, this whole idea of the Super Bowl being a division of its own country just blows my mind. And the other thing I was going to say is it this? Does the Super Bowl have responsibility over that as well? I don't think so. Actually, no. What I should say is I think they do. I mean, if you have allowed a purely, well, nearly purely Spanish um, halftime show to take place, that means that you expect the whole of America to be able to watch your halftime show in another language and be happy to do so. So, the question is it understandable that Turning Point wanted to say that's not what we want? We're going to create the the alternative for those who want that. And honestly, it just feels like all these wires are getting crossed. um, through media, really. Online, TV, music, all the wires are getting crossed. People aren't aware enough of the consequences of not caring whether what you do divides people. So yeah, I'll wrap it up there. That's my 2 cents on basically division in America at the moment on a surface level, which I think goes deep, but also just touching on the Super Bowl, the halftime show, which seems to be popping up on Facebook as a hot topic at the moment. And yes, it is creating division. The more division you have, the worse things get, in my opinion. It's about unification. America is a very patriotic country. Australia is a very patriotic country. Patriotism does not go hand in hand with division. It goes hand in hand with unification. So the quicker that Donald Trump and his Muppets and that, I just fucking hate Donald Trump. He angers me right now. I really find him an angering kind of president. He gets under your skin, and I can't imagine what it's like being an American citizen or being someone in politics who has to deal with Trump, and he turns around and just says, "Oh, well, the only way you're going to be able to deal peacefully with me is if you accept my tariffs," or whatever else he says. So that sort of bullshit, I would be slapping him verbally in the face with if I could. But I guess I can't really. So that's why I have this medium. I have a channel now that allows me to speak about political topics. And I really hope that some people are going to see this and can tell me what they think. And I would love to hear what you think. And I will tell you what I think about what you think. So I think that's really cool because that's what discussion is all about. And I hope it unifies us, not divides us. So, yeah, thank you for listening. And I hope we can see less division in America and hopefully around the world. Peace out.